And you know who the Detroit Lions have? Oh, they're on a bye, and the bye is +7. Sorry, Phil.
I was going to say, so at least they won't lose.
They won't lose.
PeekskillMugs, we're hanging out, we're making picks, we're drinking drinks. PeekskillMugs, we're shooting darts, shooting the shit. You know we're talking sports. Greg, Ryan, Phil, Jack, PeekskillMugs.
Woo!
What's up, guys? I know we've been a little sparse in our shows, been every 2 weeks, but we are back in the carport, obviously. You guys have seen that, and we're fired up for that. Middle of the football season, well, not really in the middle, you know. Thanks, Jack, for having
it
us.
goes quick.
Week
It goes
week
quick.
6.
Sure it does.
Six
It
already.
sure does.
Oh,
It
it's
sure
the
does.
fastest time of the year.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
We're on episode 73.
Keep going.
No. Whatever. And, well,
I just try to get you
No.
in, and I'll just sit back and have fun.
you know what, though? Episode 73 is kind of special to a lot of us because we have a Mount Rushmore of our 4 favorite vinyl albums. And this episode right now is dedicated to our friend Damien, who passed away 2 weeks ago. And it's a no-brainer that we wouldn't do this. So this episode 73, Damien, this is to you.
Cheers.
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 And I'm gonna step right in with my 4 favorite vinyls. I don't even need my glasses because I can still see. Number 4 is the Eagles' Hotel California. It was actually the album that the Eagles started to break up because there was so much cocaine abuse amongst the band. It was. And they started breaking up after that. My number 3 is Garth Brooks, and his album is called Fences. There's a lot of great songs on that album. I know you guys, there's a few country fans out there, and everyone knows who Garth Brooks is. And his album Fences is absolutely perfect. My number 2 is Styx, The Grand Illusion. And that was my high school album, whatever. That was the album that I listened to almost daily as a high school senior back in 1979 in Sackett's Harbor, New York. And my number 1, in memory of Damon, who had a ton of albums and a lot of different genres, but up at the Beaver Dell, he turned me on to polka music, and this band is called the Chardane Polka Band, and the album is called A Fist Full of Polka, and their best song on the album is Grab Your Balls, We're Going Bowling, and that is one of the best polka songs I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I remember he told
And,
me that one.
yeah.
He told me that one.
You know, whatever. Just grab your balls because we're going bowling. And that's my 4.
In the entire history of me doing this show with you guys,
Yeah.
I would have never expected a polka album to make a Mount Rushmore of anything.
Oh, they're great.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Polka music's great. I love polka music.
Okay.
All right. You're up?
I'm up. Sweet. Well,
You got your
As-
props?
as anybody who knows me knows, I'm actually a bit of a vinyl guy, and I decided if I'm going to do a Mount Rushmore of vinyl, I decided to treat it as a Mount Rushmore of vinyl that I own. I didn't want to go outside the genre of what I own. So, I brought them with me. So,
Nice.
in whatever order I grabbed them out of this bag over here. Bag.
Bag.
All right, sweet. Item number 1, a classic of Chicago blues. One of the first
Nice.
Chicago blues albums released.
Nice.
Junior Wells' Hoodoo Man Blues was released at some point back in the day. Year I don't know. I should probably know.
I like the
don't.
fact that you used to listen to that back in the day.
back in the 60s when it came out. I listened to it. Yeah. There's some big time blues players on this album. Junior Wells with harmonica and vocals. Buddy Guy's on this album before he became famous on his own.
Yep.
So
Buddy Guy's great.
big time Chicago blues album. One of the first. Love this record. That's my number 1. Number 2. Yes. We got Typo Negative, World Coming Down.
Wow.
Now,
Did not see that coming.
as many of you know, this was released in the 90s. This was released in the CD era of records, right? So this is a reprint from recently. Cool thing about this record, number 1, it's pressed on splattered green and black vinyl, which makes it gorgeous. Number 2, T, do you remember the beginning of this CD when they had this phony track? It was
The
like
skip track.
Skip It? Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, so on the vinyl repress, it's a record skipping instead of a CD skipping. Like, no detail left on this one. So it's absolutely beautiful. Nice cover. Good repress.
That was the first Typo CD that I ever bought, and it was a total impulse buy. I hadn't heard anything on it. And, wow. It was a good purchase.
Nice. So, because this is a 4-album set, I'm giving
Wow.
this 2 spots on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
That's a Golden Gate.
I like the fact
It
that
is the
you
Golden
still
Gate.
have it in plastic.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. You guys know the Black Crowes, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You know the singer of the Black Crowes, Chris Robinson.
Yes.
So one of the 8,000 times the Black Crowes broke up, he did a side band for like a decade called the Chris Robinson Brotherhood. That band released a live album in 2012 called Betty's Blends, mixed and produced by Betty Cantor Jackson, famous from doing a lot of the live Grateful Dead stuff. So it's a 4-album set released in quantity of 1,000 only, and I will probably never play it again because the last time I looked it up on eBay, it was selling for $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
you want to keep that one close.
Needless to say,
Keep it in plastic.
there will be no needle hitting this album anymore, as far as I'm concerned. But holding the 1 and 2 spot on my Mount Rushmore, primarily because it's my favorite, and it's by far the most valuable piece of vinyl I own. So
Yeesh.
that's my Mount Rushmore of vinyl. I don't have an overrated because I love anything pressed
Yeah.
on vinyl. So
Like, I have a couple overrated, but it doesn't matter right now.
What are they?
Because Craig's up.
What are they?
Well, Steely Dan, live, in studio, was probably one of my favorite. Because they didn't do live shows, they only did studios. And Steely Dan is still classic today. And I actually saw them out in Arizona in May when they started going out and going on the road and stuff. But, yeah, Steely Dan is one of my honorable mentions.
ooh, one of them dead.
Yes.
Dan.
There's like 2 of them, right? One of them's dead.
Yes.
No.
There's only one still alive, but he made up for the rest of them.
Okay.
Craig.
All right. Hey,
Craig's up to
guys.
bat.
I'm Craig. What's going on? Whole thing with vinyl, it's not about being the best album. Like, everything on my list is not the best album. What sounds good. You don't need, like, a thrashing guitar. You need a voice. You need bass. You need something that's going to sound good and crackling when you put that needle down. All right? So I've listened to all these albums, and I know them. I don't, like I said, that's not necessarily my favorites. All right, so Beatles' White album. Probably not my favorite Beatles album, but it's 90 minutes long. You know what? You put that thing on, it makes that sound. It's the Beatles, and it goes for 90 minutes. So many good songs on that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It just goes, and you don't have to touch it for an hour and a half. And there's so many good songs on it. It's wonderful.
You get your money's worth. for that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the White Album was good.
Then I mean, and it's all about voices too. When you go to like the vinyl, Amy Winehouse has one of the best voices of all time, and Back to Black was, my
Wow,
God,
good.
yeah. She joined the 27 Club, but her voice just sounds perfect. I mean, I haven't heard it, but it sounds perfect. I mean, she just has.
No, she had a great voice, and left us way too early,
Yeah,
without a doubt. Another.
she wanted to go to
27
rehab.
club.
She said no.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe it would have done her good. But but that voice was just unmistakable, and on vinyl, ridiculous.
And out of such a small person. To have
Yeah,
that powerful
she's a
voice.
tiny
Oh my
little
God.
girl. Another one, North Mississippi All Stars. I don't know if you guys know
Nice.
them.
Who?
They're like a bluesy Southern band, obviously from Mississippi. I got
The
to meet.
Dickinson brothers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Cody Luther, Chris Chu, and Dwayne Burnside. Look up the Burnside family, and you'll know how good of a guitarist he is. I got to meet them when I lived in Birmingham. I had a buddy, actually a Peekskill guy, who knew him, and he covered him like newspaper stuff. So I got to meet him, hung out with them. This is when they were small. Those guys just can shred any one of their albums. God, what's the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, Shake Hands with Shorty. That's the one I was thinking. That's their first. Kills it. But they've had like 15 now. And the group has changed hands. It's usually Cody and Luther who are doing things. Chris Chu has come back. He's the big bassist. Baby Burnside, he went his separate ways, so they have another guitarist. But any one of those, because you have to have a blues, you have to have a jazz, you have to have like a Miles Davis on there. I'm just not well versed in that stuff, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say I know this album, I know that album, but that's what basically vinyl was all about. So, like I said, you could put any of those on. John Lee Hooker, any of those, put them on. And then my final one, actually the first one I wrote down was Led Zeppelin 3, which is basically, there was a transition. Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, they were very rocky. I mean, not rocky, like rock. And it kind of went to a more psychedelic thing with Led Zeppelin 3. A lot of like the Immigrant Song, then all the way into like Since I've Been Loving You, Tangerine, Gallows Pole. It was kind of like an eclectic mix of music. But it's one of those, if you put it on, it just rolls. Like you can listen to 55 minutes of music from Led Zeppelin.
First one, they had a lot of like mainly acoustic songs interspersed with the hard rock.
Yeah,
which was
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those four are for sure. Like I said, any blues or jazz or any of that stuff you could put on. That's what the record or the vinyl was made for. Honorable mention, because I have heard this one. Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run. If you put that thing on a vinyl, it's not, like I said, it's not about your favorite album. It's about what sounds best.
That is
You don't
so
need
true.
you don't need like heavy guitar. You don't need this. It's all about vocals. It's all about bass. It's all about like little percussion.
Absolutely love Bruce Springsteen.
And I could totally give the Rolling Stones. They can beat it, like the
Yeah,
Scram
well.
Award. Like not because I don't like them. Well, mostly
Which
because
album
I
by
don't
the
like
Rolling
'em.
Stones were you thinking?
No, I said all of them. They can
All
go.
of them.
And my first vinyl I ever got was Hall & Oates.
Really?
It was pretty good actually.
No, Hall and Oates.
First one you ever had, Jack.
First album I ever got
First vinyl,
was first vinyl was. Oh God, what was it? It was Stevie Ray Vaughan. Double flood or
Texas Flood.
Texas Flood.
Yeah.
Ironically, the first CD I ever got was Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Yep.
Texas Flood.
Yep, that was my first vinyl I ever bought.
First
Was,
vinyl I ever had was Def Leppard Hysteria.
yep, that was my first
And-
from Texas tapes and records from Houston, Texas, and that was a whole nother era in my life. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, that was my first.
Great album. So good.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
Also give a shout out to Michael Jackson Thriller.
Oh,
That was a great one.
oh,
That was on my list originally,
yep.
but I had to bump him out.
He had to bump him out because right now I'm going to read Phil Alexander's picks, who's out in Las Vegas right now with Mark Buckland, smoking toothpicks and filming, or sitting at a bar with a girl in bikinis. Anyways, this is Phil's picks, verbatim. Michael Jackson's Thriller, almost every song was a hit. Plus, the cover features a very handsome Michael Jackson just before he totally became plastic surgery crazy. And that's from Phil.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
His number 2 is Pink Floyd, The Wall. What a
Wow.
great album. What a great movie. And The Wall, the movie, is the first movie that I've seen high on mescaline. That's coming from Phil, not me. But Phil did mescaline back during the Wall days. His number 3 is Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Wow.
The album introduced me to my cousin. Thank you, cousin Chip. Yes, Phil has actually a cousin Chip. Not Chip Wilson, but Chip, whatever his last name is. That was his number 3. And his number 1 is Van Halen's 1984. This was the last vinyl album that I bought, which I played once and lost it by leaving it at my buddy Mike Taylor's house. And a shout out to Mike Taylor.
Mike
If
Taylor.
If you still have Phil's album, please give it back. And that's Phil's 4. But Phil also wanted to just do a shout out to Damo. My memories at the Red Line of him and Kel teaching Janelle how to play quick pick at the bar was fucking classic. And now Janelle's totally hooked on it, which she is. Anyways, Phil says, thanks, Kel. Damo, I miss you, man. More than you know. I love you, brother. And on that note, we're going to do a little shot right now, which is a mixture that I mixed. It's hot apple cider. You guys can pour your own. It's hot apple cider and honey, cinnamon, and Tito's. And I hope you guys all enjoy this. And whatever, we're just going to do a little toast before we get into maybe football. You want to go into football or
I thought so.
or this day in sports history? I think we should go
let's
into football.
Go this day in sports history. You're
All
on
right,
a
I'll
roll.
go. I'll keep on rolling. All right, today is October. Oh,
Well, we
let's
didn't
do it.
do a
Cheers.
toast yet.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Boom.
Cheers.
Cheers. So
Well, that is good.
today is
Wow.
October 14th,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this day in sports history, October 14th, 1911, the largest baseball crowd ever in its day was 38,281 fans at the Polo Grounds to see the Giants beat the A's 2-1.
The Philadelphia A's.
Yes. Very good. All right, now we're just going to move right up until October 14th, 1951. Phil, this is for you. Detroit Lions player Jack Christensen returns 2 punts for TDs versus the LA Rams. It was the first time that's ever happened in a game. October 14th, 1964, Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle hit back-to-back home runs with pitches.
Each side of the plate.
Each time to the plate. Correct. October 14th, 1973, Willie Mays. We all know Willie Mays.
Say hey.
Hey, say hey. He actually hits his last career hit at the age of 42.
As a member of what team?
The Brooklyn Dodgers.
No.
No.
Metsies.
Mets.
What was it?
He
The
finished-
Mets.
He finished up with the Mets.
Did he fill it? Okay.
He probably should have wrapped it up a couple years
Yeah.
before that.
But you know
last
what?
hit.
If you're still playing at the age of 42 and you hit your last hit
Yep.
and he becomes a future Hall of Famer, God bless Willie, baby. 1979, October 14th, NHL's greatest scorer, Wayne Gretzky, scores his first goal. And that was in 1979. And he moved on to be,
Jesus.
I don't
He's
know
that
how
old?
many goals he had, but he had a lot.
Way more than everybody else.
And this is for you, Craig, right here. October 14th, 1985, New York Jets retires number 12, Joe Namath's jersey
Should've
on
earned it.
national TV on a Monday night game. And the Jets actually beat the Dolphins that night 23-7.
Nice.
What year was that?
1985. And that's when they retired Joe Namath's jersey.
Ken O'Brien?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken O'Brien, that's
QB
why he
for
got
the
riled
Jets.
up. That's why he got riled up.
That's right. That
because
was the Ken O'Brien era.
Yep.
1985.
that was the same year Ken O'Brien No, I was 86 actually when he beat the Dolphins 51-45. I was at that game. He threw for 500 something yards. You don't see that very often from the Jets.
How
anymore.
many?
You don't see 500 yards really for anybody very often.
No.
Wesley
Maybe
Walker.
Josh Allen next week.
Yeah,
But
of course.
of course.
Here, just give him the Capricorn
oh,
Award. Jesus Christ, man.
Actually, Craig won the Plumber Kev Award last time we filmed this,
yeah.
and I don't know who else.
Kenny
We
O'Brien was good. He suffered from not being Dan Marino or Jim Kelly.
Sure,
or
because they were
anybody
drafted
else,
ahead
yeah.
of him, and he was like, yeah, he was.
But-
No, actually, Marino was drafted after him.
And he also suffered from playing in an era where the Giants were winning championships, which in
Sure.
the same city, that's tough.
Yeah.
But like Ken O'Brien is a very underrated quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the guy could chuck the
Absolutely.
ball. He was like one of the last Jets. Well, before Vinny Testaverde, he was the last Jet quarterback to make the Pro Bowl, which is kind of scary.
Chad Pennington should have made a Pro Bowl, at least one. He was a good player.
Yeah, as an
Yeah.
alternate,
And
Good
so and so should
as like a third alternate.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. That was one of the best Jets quarterbacks.
No.
Yeah, he had one good year.
No.
Because they had good receivers, good running game. He just took advantage of that.
All right. I thought Ryan Fitzpatrick was pretty good for the Jets.
He had a good year.
For the Jets.
Yeah. Should have kept Geno.
Apparently.
Oh, obviously
He's no Josh Allen.
he's not.
The
Jeez,
Giants. The
that
Giants
guy's
should
gonna
have kept Geno.
he should just retire. He'll be in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Geno's really good when he's not getting punched in the face.
Yeah, by his teammates.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, geez. All right, let's turn this corner. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like introducing this whole show again. Actually, sorry.
No,
it
it's all
didn't happen.
It's going good. It's all good.
The Geno Smith hour here on PeekskillMugs.
Yeah. All right, what do you guys want to talk about next?
Well, I want to actually talk about my trip up to Buffalo.
Oh shit.
Come on, the Bills beat the Steelers.
I'm just
Sorry,
gonna sit
Big
back
Tim.
here.
38-3. But have another beer.
I'm not even drinking. I'm gonna have another one though.
But you know what though? That was a great weekend for all of us, whatever the guys that went up. But I do want to give a couple shout outs right now. And one of them is to my daughter Megan, who actually flew in from Arizona for the game. And we had a blast. She had seats. I had seats. George and Daniel had seats. So that's a shout out to Megan. I love you, Megan. And to my best friend in high school, Jim Webb, who got me the seats 9 rows from the field.
JW.
Yeah, JW, baby. That game was awesome. Sitting there with him.
Yeah, they were nice seats.
They were 9 rows back. Jim, love you, brother. And another
Can't see
shout
anything
out.
from there, but
But you know what? Another shout out goes to Carrie Ann from Buffalo, who's actually a PeekskillMugs follower, who has her own Instagram page, and it's called Mafia Mutts. So please follow Mafia Mutts on Instagram for her, because the more that follow her and support her, the more pups she gets to help up in Buffalo, because that's what she does up in Buffalo. She helps out.
absolutely.
Yep. And Carrie Ann, go Bills, baby. Kansas City coming up for us.
I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I haven't done shit the whole day.
No, but
Come on, why don't you just keep carrying the show? I haven't said shit. I said like 2 words.
no, but who are the Dolphins starting this week?
It's going to be probably Tua. He's got to be back at this point.
No, Skylar
It's
Thompson.
not Tua. Tua's not back yet?
They have rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I'm just talking about the NFL. I can talk about the Bills all day,
As-
because the Bills have only given up 7 points.
So, as a Giants fan, I would actually rather discuss the Jets today.
So would I,
Because
actually, because the Jets have a
without
big
a
game.
doubt, the difference in the Jets between Zach Wilson being at quarterback versus Flacco is unbelievable. It's amazing. It's like night and day difference.
Well, it goes from Flacco, they're going to chuck the ball. He doesn't know the offense. He's not as mobile as Zach Wilson. And the whole scheme of this offense is the one cut and up. and they have Brees Hall, and they have Michael Carter, who can actually do that. And it's showing. They're each averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Zach Wilson is, you don't want to say it, but he's a second overall pick. But he is a game manager right now. He is a game manager, and that's what they want him to do. He's 23 years old.
Yep.
You don't have to be Tom Brady. You don't have to be Aaron Rodgers. Manage the game. He hasn't turned the ball over in 6 quarters or 6 games, even bigger. So they're going to Green Bay. Green Bay's angry. They lost to the Giants when they, a comeback win, huge comeback win in London. And then you get the Jets have a defense that, and everyone's like, oh, wow, they played a third-string quarterback. But they demolished that team. They had Tyreek Hill, and I don't give a shit who is playing. They have a running back who's averaging whatever. They did not. They suffocated those guys. Suffocated.
They had a coming out party last
It,
week.
it
Yeah,
was,
they did.
and
did.
well, the week before too. And you know what? Whatever. We'll see what happens. And if they lose to Green Bay, which they probably should, because it's Aaron Rodgers. Everyone picked them to go to the Super Bowl. They're 7.5-point favorites. They're coming off an angry loss. He's going to be fired up. They don't have the weapons they used to have. They really don't. I just don't want, because I could see it. I used to be in the media. I'm still in the media, but it's one game does not define you. 2 games for the Jets do not define you as winning. But I can totally see the New York media, if they lose, they are who we thought they were. No, they're supposed to lose this game. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's, it is what it is.
It is.
I'm looking forward to it.
But all 3 of our teams won last week.
Yeah.
Well, the
All
thing
New York teams.
The thing I worry about with what Craig's talking about from a Giants perspective is, I feel like they're on the opposite end right now. I feel like they're getting too hyped up. They're better, they're playing better, they're better coached, they're a tough, gritty team. It seems like, but I don't know if they're as good as people are trying to make them out to be right now. I worry a little bit just watching the years and years of terrible football they're not that far away from that.
Dude, that defense looked pretty nasty, though.
It looked pretty good, but so many injuries, and it's are they as good as they were against Green Bay last week, or are they what they were against Dallas 2 weeks ago?
Correct.
They're probably somewhere in the middle, I would have to guess.
And who do the Giants have coming up this Sunday?
They're going to play a football game against Baltimore. Wink Martindale's got something to prove against Baltimore, so
he
we'll
does.
see how that goes. Lamar scares the hell out of me, though. He's the whole package.
He is, but he's stoppable.
He's
Jets
stoppable.
stopped
but
him.
The thing is,
Least amount of rushing yards he's ever had.
Yep.
he came into the league. He's a running quarterback. That's primarily what he does. They sprinkle some pass in. He can throw from the pocket.
Oh, he
now.
can chuck.
He's a good player. He's a good quarterback right now. So I'm scared to death of Lamar Jackson. I have no idea how this week's going to
Yeah.
go.
And who's the Jets have again?
Jets are in Green Bay against Aaron Rodgers and a very good
What's
defensive front.
the spread? Do you know?
7.5, Green Bay.
Okay.
Giving 7.5 to the Jets. That defensive line, the Jets' offensive line is sneaky good. And no one knows this. Elijah Vera Tucker, no one knows who he is. He was a 15th overall pick 3 years ago. The guy's played left guard, left tackle, right tackle, and he's given up 2 sacks in his whole career. No one gets that. No one gets that. See, that's the thing. Jets. Oh, they suck. They suck.
No, they don't.
Trust me. They're coming around.
The Jets do not suck.
You say it all the time.
They don't
No,
anymore.
I actually like the Jets.
Salah still has his receipts that he's holding on to. He's going to cash
Yeah.
those.
I
I hope
do-
it's not a
I-
CBS
yeah.
receipt.
No,
That
I
fucking thing is that
I do
long.
like watching the Jets.
Okay.
I do.
All right. I believe you.
I like when they
believe
win.
you. I believe you.
You know who I don't like watching is the Chicago Bears and the Washington football
Oh.
team last night.
How boring.
Did
of
anybody
that
watch
game.
that football game?
I watched one play.
I fell asleep 3 times.
Yeah. What was the final score?
Who
12,
cares?
12-6.
Something.
12-7.
Who gives a
But
shit?
you know what though? Is the first time that the Bears wore orange helmets for the first time. They actually, I actually thought the fucking Denver Broncos were playing. Just the orange helmet. I didn't get the orange helmet for that.
I actually liked their unis last night. I thought they looked nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, the team didn't, but. And the Bills have got the Chiefs at 4:25 Sunday afternoon.
That's the game of the week. Absolutely.
Now, I think so too. Not even being a Bills fan, but that's what everyone's saying. That game, hopefully, it's not like
I hate
Whatever.
I hate to say this, but I feel like KC's got payback coming.
Well, Kansas City actually won the last time they met.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they got payback coming.
Yeah,
Oh,
I could
gotcha.
see the
In
Bills.
the form of
I could
Josh
see-
Allen
yeah,
shoving
I
it
could
right
see the
up
Bills
their ass.
winning that.
Gotcha.
I could totally see the Bills winning that.
And you know who the Detroit Lions have? Oh, they're on a bye, and the bye is +7. Sorry, Phil.
I was going to
Just-
say, so at least they won't lose.
They won't lose. I wish Phil was here just to comment on the Lions, because they have not looked good this year.
I thought they would be better.
No, they're scoring the most points at anyone until the Patriots shut them out, but they're also giving up the most points, which is kind of a crazy thing I don't think I've ever seen before. To score the most points in the league after 4 games, they get shut out in the 5th game. Like, how the hell does that happen? Like, that
Bill
doesn't
Belichick.
happen. Yeah,
how
I
that
think I think I
happens.
screwed up on this one. In the pool that I'm in, I picked the Browns. They're giving 3.5 to the Patriots. I picked the Browns. I could see 24-20, hopefully, but I could also see the Patriots winning 24-10.
Yeah.
I picked the Giants money line last week. That worked out well for me.
It did. Now, I know Craig won the last time with the Clever Plum Award. Should we just do us 3 picking a team?
For knockout?
Yeah, for knockout, just the 3 of us.
Give me the Giants this week.
They're going to beat the Ravens.
I'm feeling good. Give me the Giants this week.
I'm going to go with the Rams, so I'm definitely going to beat it next week.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
Nice.
So I'm going to win. So just give me the fucking money, whatever you owe me.
No, you
Clowns.
just get the Clever Plum Award again.
You guys had so many good picks out there.
I was going to take the Bills.
I like it because you went
but-
against the Giants in the first week. You went
Yep.
against them.
Yep.
So now you're reeling it in.
They got me. They friggin' got me.
Oh,
Yep.
man, don't say that.
They got me.
Shaquan Block. What's his name?
Saquon Barkley?
Barkley. He's good.
Saquon Black.
I say some stupid shit, and hopefully in a future episode, there's going to be words that I cannot say. And I'm waiting on Craig to reel that in
One day.
one day. Just write them out there, and I'll try to say them.
Did you write down Saquon for that? 'Cause, yeah.
Whatever I wrote down is useless. I can't even read my own
Saquon
handwriting.
Black.
My final thoughts is to Damien. I know that we started this show out with the vinyl, and episode 73 was in his memory. And that's all I have to say about that.
Life short, love, have fun. Cheers.
Boom.